Welcome, good morning, and Happy New Year. This is Steve Clemens, Vice President of Life Markets, and thank you for joining us for our brief meeting today and what's new in life markets for 2017. Appreciate you all coming out this morning and spending a few minutes with us here at URL. I looked at the attendee list so far, and I see some familiar names, some folks I haven't talked to in a while, and some new folks. So welcome all. We appreciate you spending the time with us at URL this morning. Before I do get started, I just wanted to make note on the control panel, usually on the right-hand side of the screen. If you have any questions, please type them in the question box. I'll get to those after the presentation. And then also, if you wanted to raise your hand afterwards, and I can unmute your phone, and then you can ask the question that you have. Secondly, there'll be a couple poll questions throughout the presentation. I think you'll have to answer that, and then that poll will go away, and then the screen will show again. So if you see that pop up, you know what that is. And without further ado, let's kind of get into some of the new things here at URL in the Life Department and what we're going to cover. So number one, we're going to cover some life industry trends and maybe a couple sales ideas in there, some new carriers to URL, our lead program, a little tidbit on that for 2017, marketing tools, our Gemini partner program that we have here at URL, those bonuses, some trips and retreats coming up, and upcoming trainings that we'll be doing here in January. So before I do that, for those who are unfamiliar with URL or maybe haven't talked to us in a while, here is our Life Markets team that will be servicing you for all of your life insurance needs throughout 2017. So for any kind of sales support, assistance, underwriting support, marketing support, Matt, Alina, and Joey Fry will be your two go-to people here at URL. I will have their extensions and emails at the end of the presentation as well. And case management is Rosemary and Rachel, and licensing Judy Warner. And you'll see our phone number 1-800-926-8875 or 1-800-WANT-URL at the top. And please note our website if you haven't been there. Please do jot that down, and please visit our website after the presentation. So for those who are new to URL, here is a typical life insurance sales cycle that we see. Usually what we see in the pink shaded areas is kind of what you as the agent or broker out there doing with your clients, and in the blue is what we're doing on the inside to help service that business. So real quickly, you obviously have your client meeting with your client, whether that's in person, over the phone, however you're communicating with your clients and meeting with them, and you're reaching out the URL for sales support or underwriting support, and then you'll see here Matt and Joey kind of take over from there. They're going to help you with quotes, with case design work, advanced marketing support, impaired risk support, any supplies and marketing materials, or product education or onboarding you need. They're your front-end support that are going to help you with that, get that information back to you in a timely manner. And obviously, you meet back with your client. You can take a paper app or an e-app on our website, and you're happy you got the application in. Now it goes back into URL where your case managers, Rosemary and Rachel, will be watching that business from the time it's submitted to the time it's placed for you. Then the policy is delivered and paid, and that somewhat completes the sales cycle there. So medically underwritten, average sales cycle is 20 to 30 days if there's no APS. Obviously, APSs will delay that service depending on the carrier and the hospital or doctor's office we're trying to get the APS from. And then on the non-medical side, without blood, urine, paramed, we could have those policies, depending on the carrier, issued in hours to as little as 5 to 7 business days without an APS. Here's a quick snapshot of some partner carriers at URL. I highlighted 3 of the newer carriers that we'll touch on today with MassMutual, Nationwide, and SBLI. But before we do that, I wanted to look at a couple trends that we've been seeing Over the last few months, with life sales here at URL, as we see all the new business come in, you see a trend of what's been hot. So a couple of things that we've seen in life insurance over the past few months has been an uptick in participating whole life sales. The index UL sales have been on the rise over the last few years, and with that has grown an interest in permanent cash accumulating life insurance. And it's also brought back kind of what is old is new again with participating whole life. Simplified underwriting. You know, people don't want to go through the hassle of the blood, the urine, the paramed, and a lot of that. So people's schedules are busy. They want a simpler process, and we're responding to that. Return of premium is big in the marketplace again. Again, what is old is new. The return of premium products have been big sellers throughout 2016, and we still see it, you know, obviously being quoted here into the new year. And long-term care or chronic illness accelerated benefit riders are all the rage on permanent insurance and even on term insurance in some cases. So those are some great benefits, and we see more and more sales with the long-term care type benefits on the life policies. So looking at a par whole life, this is just a snapshot of a typical policy we've been seeing with Mass Mutual. And this is a 20-pay whole life policy, and this is on a 40-year-old male preferred non-nicotine. Now at URL, with participating whole life, dividend-paying whole life, we offer American National, Assurity, Foresters, Mass Mutual, MetLife. And this is just showing a 40-year-old putting in $10,000 a year for a 20-year period. And it shows a guaranteed cash value, $214,000 and change, a total cash value of $278, and obviously a death benefit that has started at $452,000 and has gone up to $585,000. So for a cash value solve, we have seen that, you know, we've seen more of this being quoted and sold, and we're quoting this usually alongside an index universal life policy that we offer here as well. We see some clients really respond to the index universal life and the higher upside potential, but we see other clients respond more to the guarantees in a participating whole life policy. So it's going to provide, obviously, guaranteed cash accumulation, strong dividends, and safe distributions. So on the back end, we're showing a distribution on this starting at age 62 of $15,101 annually through age 90. So from age 62 to 90, a distribution of $15,101 as a retirement supplement plan as well as a life insurance benefit. Another trend we've been really taking notice to is simplified underwriting. At URL, we have 20-plus carriers with availability for simplified issue underwriting. Those can range from final expense policies to guarantee issue insurance to a simplified issue term or a simplified issue UL or whole life policy. And we listed a bunch of the core carriers there below. And the other trend, as I mentioned, was long-term care riders. As you can see from lifehappens.org and LIMRA studies, over $91,250 is the median yearly cost for private nursing home in 2015. So obviously, this is a large concern for the consumers there that we are trying to serve. And if we're looking at permanent life insurance, it should certainly be discussed that we have these benefits and riders available. And in many times, some of our carriers, there's no additional cost to that. And in other carriers, there's a very small additional cost to adding that benefit to the permanent solution. And if a client is looking for long-term care coverage, we would certainly quote traditional long-term care benefits, as well as what we call like a linked benefit type product, where it's going to have a long-term care rider on a life policy. So we can back into the life insurance benefit and compare it to a standalone LTC case and see what makes best sense for that particular client. So right now we have over 10 carriers offering a long-term care rider or a chronic illness rider to help supplement the rising cost of long-term care. So here's a quick sample. This is a life insurance policy with a long-term care or chronic illness accelerated benefit. So this is a 55-year-old female standard non-nicotine. And what we're looking at here is a $200,000 death benefit providing a $4,000 monthly chronic illness accelerated benefit or long-term care rider. And all of these policies, unless otherwise noted, have a age 100 guarantee that is with these annual premiums that were quoted. So with North American Company, we've quoted two of their products, their fixed guaranteed UL, the custom guarantee, and the North American Guaranteed Builder, IUL. Both are within less than $100 a year of each other. For that reason, when we're quoting, we generally look to the Guarantee Builder. When we have a premium difference of this difference, which is very minute, the Guarantee Builder is not only going to provide a lifetime guarantee, guaranteed age 120, but it's on the IUL chassis, which is going to provide a higher potential cash accumulation than the custom guarantee. Then going down the line, we have the Protective Advantage Choice UL, which is a fixed UL with a guaranteed death benefit, and it also has some cash growth, so that's right there at $2,900. Then the United of Omaha GUL is right there, and the AIG Secure Lifetime product is coming up at $3,100. Now, Nationwide is a GUL with a long-term care rider. This is the first with the LTC and not the chronic illness accelerated benefit rider. And then John Hancock also has a true long-term care rider at a higher premium. So those are all guaranteed ULs. Most of these companies have a current assumption indexed UL or fixed UL that is built for cash growth and maybe not a lifetime guarantee, which could, in some cases, maybe offer the client a little bit lower premium or some more flexibility in the policy. So again, multiple carriers with this benefit. So when you're talking to Matt or Joey here at URL, certainly when you're quoting permanent insurance, ask them to add these riders or ask them more about the benefits, and we could tell you more about that. And return of premium has been a trend. We've been seeing more and more sales with return of premium. Certainly, if you're quoting 20 and 30-year, 20, 25, 30-year term on a client, put a ROP term in that and ask for a ROP term quote as well on any 20, 25, and 30-year terms that you're quoting. It's going to help you expand the conversation on life insurance and certainly lead to larger sales with your middle market clients. So we have a sample client for that, a 40-year-old male with an insurance need of $250,000 for 25 years, basically protecting mortgage income replacement really to near retirement or retirement age. This is a piece I love to use. We have these at URL, and I believe we actually have, we can provide these in a handout if need be. This is through Cincinnati Life. This is a fantastic piece just to use with a client who's kind of new to life insurance and what types of life insurance are available. So it goes from left to right, from term life insurance to term with return of premium to universal life to whole life. So from left to right, you're basically going cheapest to more expensive, and also, you know, less coverage to more enhanced coverage, meaning, you know, you're basically renting the term for a period of time. Term with return of premium gives you value back and other solutions. Then universal and whole life gives you certainly the permanent solutions. So when looking at this and taking our 40-year-old preferred male, $250,000 into perspective. We see obviously that term is going to be the lowest cost at roughly $34 a month for a 25-year level term. And that's what you get. You get your coverage for $250,000 for 25 years. You get your conversion privilege, and that's about it. If you cancel, you get nothing on the back end. Now, return of premium is certainly going to cost you a little more. It's going to be $86 a month. Now, at the end of 25 years, they get 100% of their money back. If they cancel prior to that, they get a percentage back. And they also have a paid-up option available and some conversion options available that you don't get with the traditional term plan, which we'll touch on in the next slide or two. Universal life obviously is going to be a little bit more expensive. Now we're talking $142 a month, for that same coverage. Permanent solution, $250,000. Whole life, again, more, because now we're guaranteeing death benefit and we're guaranteeing cash value at $239. If I were to put one more arrow on here for a participating whole life, the price would be a little bit higher. Again, more value in that policy, more premium. So when we show something like this and give a client a perspective of premium, an idea of coverage, you tend to see that clients will start gravitating towards a product somewhere in the middle that has a little more value on the back end. So $86 a month is certainly generally going to be a little bit more than term, but less than the permanent solution. So let's look at an illustration here. This is going to show you what the options are on the Cincinnati Life return of premium plan. Now this is at $80 premium for this same client. And as you can see in this illustration, you're going to see on an illustration the cash value percentages each year. So you can see in the first 5 years, if they surrender, they really don't get any value out of it, just like a regular term. But starting in year 6, all the way through year 25, there's a percentage value. So if the client decided to cancel their policy in the 10th policy year, they would get nearly 40% of their cash that they put into it back. Or in raw numbers, $4,100 and change. If they said, the heck with it, I don't want to pay any more premiums, I'm age 50, I don't need the insurance, I paid my mortgage off early, I'm done working, I don't need anything more, they can also opt, instead of taking $4,100, take a paid-up insurance option. Now this will pay up the policy through age 99 with no additional premiums. So client, if they canceled in the 10th year, would get $13,750 death benefit through age 99. In year 15, now the percentage is up to 60% and the paid-up option's bigger. Year 20 in a 25-year term, now we're nearly 80% of their money back and a much higher paid-up insurance option. Fast forward to the 25th year of this plan, 100% of the premiums back, which is $25,740 at age 65, or that would provide a $52,000 paid-up insurance policy. So those are some fantastic options. Now, obviously, the return of premium with Cincinnati, you can do a 20-year return of premium, a 25-year, or a 30-year return of premium. So those are 3 great options. You have a lower cost product than permanent, but you still have permanent solutions built into this with the paid-up option. You have an exit strategy with a policy cash value. And also, we have another option. If the client wants to convert the coverage to permanent insurance, they can use this $25,740 and put that in a lump sum for their conversion to the permanent solution Cincinnati offers. That's going to greatly offset the cost. So let's say it's 25 years later, your client's 65, they see a need for more than $52,000, they want to convert, but they don't want to pay more than they're paying now. They want to pay that same $85.80. So what we've done is fast forward, this client's still Select Plus preferred non-nicotine at age 65 because this is a conversion, even if he isn't healthy anymore, because we're converting, it's guaranteed insurability at that same rate class. We're solving for an $85.80 premium. We're putting in the lump sum, and that's creating a death benefit on conversion of $103,832. It's fully guaranteed to age 121. So the big question is, what would the cost be without the rollover? So if we went on to our quote engine today at URL and plugged in the same death benefit for a 65-year-old, assuming he's still preferred 25 years later, which is probably not likely, but assuming that is the case, the best premium out there right now is with Protective at just shy of $189 a month for that same 100,000. Actually, it's 3,000 less coverage. With Cincinnati's GUL, without the rollover, $225 a month. So you can see what leveraging that return of premium and that cash value of $25,000 does. It reduces the premium greatly to $85.80, and it's guaranteed insurance on the conversion. So great strategies to think about and talk about with your clients. I know term is easy, and it's quick and easy, but sometimes if you give them that full picture view of what the cost and value of life insurance is, clients see a lot of value in return of premium term. So another nice option to present to clients. All right, so moving on, we have some news in underwriting. So with underwriting, we have some new underwriting with foresters and with Legal & General Banner Life Insurance. So with foresters, for those of you who work with foresters, we had non-medical, no blood, no urine, no paramed underwriting on their term policies, on their participating whole life policy, and the Smart UL policy, up to $250,000. They have now increased that non-medical term up to, or term, whole life, and universal. They've now increased the non-medical standards from $250,000 to $400,000. Now, on the term, they will do a 20, a 25, and a 30-year term. Their whole life, again, is a participating whole life, and their universal is a current assumption cash value whole life. And so that is a nice new feature. We can go up to a higher non-med, and if you need more information on foresters, you can certainly let us know. I'm pretty excited about this one with Legal & General Banner Life, APPcelerate. We've been demoing this for a few months now, but it has become more standard in the marketplace. With Banner Life, we have a program called APPAssist. If you've used APPAssist, you would know it. It's a very short form paper or online app where you complete basic information on your client. You do not need a signature on the paperwork or on the online app. So that means you submit it by just asking your client a few brief questions. Banner contacts your client, calls for all the Part 2 medical, non-medical questions, and sets up the paramed for you. So it's a very simple process for you, for your client. What is new to this process is if your client is between the ages of 20 and 50 and they're applying for $100,000 to $500,000, if they would qualify for a Preferred Plus through a Standard Plus underwriting, based on the phone interview, MIB, script check, the underwriter has the ability to issue the policy without blood urine paramed now. So not everyone will need to go through blood urine paramed. After the phone interview, they get all the information on the client. Then the company can go ahead and directly issue the policy, and the policy can be e-delivered if the client wants the e-delivery instead of paper delivery. It can be e-delivered in the same day. So it's going to greatly reduce the cycle time of your Banner Life applications for those healthy individuals, 50 and under, $500,000 and less. So very nice process. If you're not using APPAssist now, certainly contact Matt and Joey in our Life Markets department. They'll be able to help you out with that. So let's look at some new companies that we have at URL. MassMutual, Nationwide, and SBLI are three of the newer carriers here at URL. MassMutual, who I mentioned a little bit earlier, we really focus with MassMutual on their whole life portfolio. They have a whole life payable to 100, a whole life payable to 65, a 20 pay, a 10 pay, another one designed for high early cash value, and we even have a what we call Care Choice 1, which is a single premium linked long-term care benefit product, and a survivorship whole life. You'll see long-term care riders as a great benefit to add on to the MassMutual policy, a guaranteed insurability rider for younger individuals, there's a term rider, and much more. Nationwide is literally on our side. For those of you who have been to our office, the Nationwide casualty claims department is right next to us here in the Harrisburg area. So our building is on Nationwide Drive. For those new to URL, we have no affiliation with Nationwide. It's just we're located on their side. But we have brought them on for the life department. Good on term life insurance. Their universal life, their guaranteed universal is a big seller, especially with the long-term care rider. They have current assumption ULs, survivorship ULs, index ULs. They have a non-par whole life, a single premium linked benefit long-term care plan as well that we see quite a bit of information on there as well. And spouse rider on ULs and IULs, which not all of our carriers have, so that's kind of a unique benefit. And obviously great branding. You can't go anywhere without seeing Nationwide or humming the song that Peyton Manning made so famous with his chicken parm. So we're happy to have them as a partner carrier at URL. SBLI is the next carrier that we just recently brought on. We're pretty excited about SBLI. Primarily, we brought them on for their term life portfolio, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30-year level term. It's pretty much vanilla term. You have what's unique about them is their accelerated underwriting practice. So with the accelerated underwriting, there is no blood, no urine, no paramed exam for clients ages 18 to 60, $100,000 to $500,000. So again, up to $500,000, no blood, no urine, no paramed, ages 18 to 60, and all risk classes and table ratings apply. So generally with the non-meds, you're looking at a standard rate with most companies or a standard with some tables built into it. With SBLI, all risk classes and table ratings apply on their no paramed exam underwriting. So the case is going to follow one of two paths. Once it goes in, whether you do the paper app or our online app, it's going to go into the underwriting. They'll do their normal underwriting, MIB, script, MVR checks, and it's going to be immediate approval and sent to issue. Or the second path is, maybe there's some hiccups within the underwriting. They need additional requirements, such as an APS. Well, they'll order that APS to make a final risk assessment, but they're not going to order blood urine paramed. And again, as I mentioned, we have what's called the ZIP app, which is a drop ticket quick e-application, which you'll be able to do, or a short form paper app if you prefer to do applications on paper. So let's take a snapshot and a look at the SBLI pricing. So here's a sample 40-year-old, $500,000, and these are 20 and 30-year term rates. So as you're looking here, we have term rates for 20 years and then 30 years. I'll draw a line best I can down the middle here. So the 20-year rates, these, as I mentioned, with no blood, no urine, no paramed, your clients can still qualify for Preferred Plus. They're not going to be automatically, because we're not doing a paramed, dropped down to standard. So for your healthy marathon runner who doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, takes perfect care of themselves, they're not going to be subjected to, let's say, a $63 premium when they can certainly qualify for a $37 premium. And then, same thing on the 30-year, preferred best through standard. And if your client is substandard, they still have substandard rates. Again, it's easy, so you are not having to put them through blood urine paramed for $500,000 or less. Great option for your clients, and something that certainly you can ask for quotes here at URL for SBLI. And if you use our term quote engine, they're already on there. So you'll see them on there compared to the familiar companies you're used to using. All right, so at URL, we have different marketing tools available for you. We have a final expense lead program, which I'm going to touch on here in a moment. We have our website, which provides our quote engine, which I mentioned, for term and guaranteed universal life. We have a quote engine for final expense insurance, if you're doing that market. We have a consumer term quote engine, and the consumer term quote engine is something you can add to your website for as little as $15 a month. Clients can go onto your website, quote a multitude of different companies you want them to see, and if they run a quote on your website, you get immediate response if that client's on your website running a quote, and you get that immediate lead right away. So it's not only a tool you can use for your company and for your clients on your own website, but it's also a lead generator. Secondly, with that program, it does provide you a free microsite, which you would have available that would just give you the term quote engine, some life insurance information branded with your name, company, and phone number on that. So it's a nice tool that we have available for you. Obviously, on our website, we have underwriting materials, some other marketing materials available. Our e-apps for our carriers are on the website. We list some consumer-approved materials there. So there's a lot of different tools that we have available for you. I'm going to touch just quickly on our final expense leads. For those in that final expense market, we have direct mail leads available, and we have now added a fixed cost direct mail lead program starting at $28 a lead. Now, to be involved in that program, you have to order a minimum of 15 leads a month, and but we would have direct mail at a fixed cost. Before, you're probably familiar with, any of you have ordered mailers through URL, it was a per thousand cost. It's $450 on average per thousand for a final expense mailer. Now, that doesn't guarantee you a certain amount of leads. You could get 10 leads from that mailer. You might get 20. You might get 10. You might get 15. But each mailer that you do generates a different response rate. And in final expense, probably the average in Pennsylvania is about 1.5. Other areas of the country about 1.1 to 1%. So at $28 a lead, it's really giving you a quality fixed cost per lead that you can really budget and set a marketing goal around. So we're very excited to be introducing that in 2017. If you're just looking for targeted demographic lead lists, they start at $75 per thousand, where you can target zip codes, ages, income demographics with addresses, phone numbers scrubbed through do not call, etc. And we have a telemarketed final expense lead program, which can be anywhere from a $12 to a $19 per lead, depending on the quantity you order. Again, with URL, all leads are exclusive to you, they're fresh to you, and they're never resold. And the lead program, we have a free lead program in the final expense market. We have a subsidized lead program in the final expense market. And again, we have the leads to purchase for agents who are looking just to purchase leads. We will be doing more details on our lead program next Thursday, the 12th. We're having a final expense webinar that will go over the greater details of the lead program. Our Gemini Partner Program. For those of you unfamiliar with our Gemini Partner Program or have heard about it and haven't really looked into it, what we have at URL is this program for agents and agencies who decide to partner with the URL kind of on a grander scale. We call it an elite level partnership. And what it is it is a partnering program designed to benefit and reward independent agencies, agents, P&C agencies, banks, wealth management firms, CPAs, law firms, to do business with URL. Essentially how it works is if you write business with an insurance company that we represent, then we would ask you to place that business with us if you're in the Gemini Partnership Program. If there's a need to place business with a company that's outside of URL, companies we don't represent, then we have no expectation for you to place any of that business through us. Essentially, we're only concerned with the carriers we represent if you're entering the Gemini Partner Program. So if you're going to give URL that level of commitment in your business, that you say, hey, if URL represents that company, I'm going to write it with URL, then we want to give you more value to what you do at URL. Part of our Gemini benefits is our Gemini guarantee, that you'll earn the best compensation with our Gemini guarantee. So we're going to match or strive to better any arrangement that you have elsewhere. So if you said, Steve, I'm writing with XYZ company, but my other brokerage is giving me an extra 5 points, well, and I want to go in the Gemini program, well, our Gemini guarantee is that we'll match that compensation. Or if we can't match that compensation, you have no, we would exclude them from the program. You can still certainly do that business with your other BGA, FMO, IMO group and be entered into the Gemini Partner Program for your other carriers. Part of the benefits are we have different bonuses and retreats available exclusive to Gemini partner agents, networking events. We do a free E&O. We have a quarterly bonus every quarter for Gemini partner agents who are placing business with us. There's a lot of additional benefits that go along with it. And our Gemini bonuses. It's another big piece of it. The Gemini bonus for first quarter 2017 for life markets is anywhere from $50 to $200 per application. So if you sell a case of $600 to under $1,000 of annualized premium, that gives you a $50 bonus. At $1,000 to under $2,000, that's a $100 bonus. And anything of $2,000 or above gives a $200 bonus. And then for the large cases, we have what's called our 5% big case bonus. So anything of target commissionable premium of $6,000 or higher gets an additional 5% on top of whatever you do. So that's all production in the first quarter for our Gemini life bonuses. Now each department has their own bonus. Annuity, single premium life has a bonus set up for you for Gemini producers. Our group health area, employee benefits, they all have their own bonuses in the Gemini Partner Program. For anyone doing business with Cincinnati Life at URL, we have our 25 for 25. The first 25 cases that are submitted and placed with Cincinnati Life in 2017 will get a $25 Visa gift card. And we're also giving a $100 to the top Cincinnati Life producer in the first quarter of 2017. One of our other Gemini bonuses is our Salamander Resort and Spa retreat. So we're going to have a retreat for Gemini partner agents. It will be by invitation. It'll be May 10th through the 12th, and it's going to be a great networking event, training event, and a lot of fun. Great resort in Middleburg, Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C. and Horse Country, Virginia. There's a huge equestrian center at the resort, a beautiful golf course, spa, culinary institute. So it's a really neat venue and location for a retreat like that. Our carriers all have, most of our carriers, especially in the final expense or simplified issue markets, have their own meetings and their own retreats and and conventions, and some of those are listed below. Lastly, I'd like to touch on our website for those who are not with URL or would like to get more information on us and go to our website. It is url.insgroup.com. A temporary login username would be people and password business, and those are case sensitive. So please remember that it is case sensitive. That will log you into the website, and you can look at some different areas of that. And upcoming trainings. Upcoming training for anyone in the health markets, we are doing on January 10th a meeting at 10 o'clock Eastern for self-funding health insurance. And Deb Wilkinson from our Health Markets Department will be spearheading that. January 12th at 11:30 Eastern, we're going to be touching on our final expense product portfolio and our new lead program. So that's January 12th at 11:30. And Joe Corio and the Annuity Department continue to do Department of Labor DOL update webinars every other week. So the next one coming up is January 17th and I believe the 20th at 2 o'clock Eastern. So those will be some updates coming in the near future. So again, our self-funding is going to be on January 10th at 10 a.m. The final expense lead program will be January 12th, and we'll do a follow-up on that on the 26th. And the DOL updates will be January 17th and the 20th at 2 o'clock. All of our life webinars are recorded, so you can always go back to this, or if someone else had an interest in your office, they can go to our calendar on our website and click on the event and the event date and listen to the recording of the presentation. And lastly, I just want to follow up with our contact information here at URL for our Life Markets Department. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us via email, give us a call, and we'd love to help you with your next case. So if you have a case you're working on, please reach out to Matt, Joey, or myself via email or phone call. We'll be happy to help you out. You can certainly go to our website for any term quotes and to look around, but certainly we appreciate the calls and the emails with anything you're working on because we truly enjoy working on those cases that you have. And with that, I'd like to say thank you. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining me for the last half hour, 45 minutes. And if you needed any additional information on anything at all, please don't hesitate to give us a ring, and we will be happy to help you out. With that, I will conclude the presentation. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take those now.